What's up, fam? It's the Dipped Podcast, and we are so grateful to have you with us here today on this wonderful daytime, evening, whenever it is. We're just happy that you've decided to join us. We got a very special podcast episode for y'all this week, so we're gonna kick it off with some intros. What's up, gang? Who's up first?
Sevy Sev, Cash Money, Sev the Savage.
What up? It's your boy Kevin, aka Atticus Warhol, aka Lab the Rat, aka Mayor of Little Tokyo.
Yeah, there we go. Boop, boop, boop. Every single week, coming with the heat. It's your boy. It's Q, man. And yeah, we've got a very special guest this week. You know, you might have seen him before on some previous episodes, but he's here in full effect this time, coming with that ta-da. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jose Homicide. You guys all gave AKA names. I did not know that we had to have that prepared. So that's all I have.
Well, it's okay.
I'm Jose Homicide.
That's A-okay.
And we're so happy to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. So, you know, our friend Jose here, he's you know, he's an artist of sorts. He does a lot of things, and one of the main things he does is he makes music. He's an amazing recording artist. You should check out some of his stuff. We're going to link to it actually in the description of this podcast. But seeing as how you're involved in the creation of music, something we wanted to intro this you know, podcast episode off was the news that everybody's favorite musical legend, the Biebs, the Biebs announced that he has sold his share of the rights to his music to Hipgnosis. The spelling of the brand is crazy.
Hipgnosis?
G-N-O-S-I-S. Hipgnosis Songs Capital. He sold his music rights for $200 million. $200 million. So what do you guys feel about that? So I think it's pretty interesting. Some would say that his discography is being undervalued, him being like one of the biggest names in music in the last like decade or so. Do you feel like he undersold himself, or do you think that you get it and that was the right amount?
How many albums is that?
Yeah, how many albums is that?
Yeah.
Let's find out. It's 290 songs.
290 songs. It's like
I didn't know that.
2/3. Like, I mean, that ain't too shabby. You're getting like $1 million a song.
That's about,
but I mean, like, obviously, if it was 300 million, then it'd be $1 million song. But like, you know, you get 3 songs for $2 million.
So a little more background information. The firm now owns the pop star's stake in some of the biggest hits of recent years, including Baby and Sorry. Bieber, one of the best-selling artists of the 21st century, joins a group of artists who have cashed out on their catalogs. The move means Hipgnosis will receive payment every time a song it owns is streamed or used on radio, TV, or film.
Oh, that's cool.
The company, a $1 billion venture between financial giant Blackstone and the British Hipgnosis Song Management, acquired Bieber's publishing copyrights to his 290 song back catalog. That's a catalog.
Yeah.
That's huge, bro.
It's also acquired his share in the original master recordings of the songs, which includes all of his music released before the 31st of December 2021. It says that artists are increasingly selling stakes in their work to music funds, although the trend is more common among older artists. In the last 2 years, music legends Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen both sold back catalog rights to Sony. Springsteen received a reported $500 million for the sale of his life's work.
Wow.
Dang.
Bruce Springsteen only got 300 mil more than
300
Justin
mil?
Bieber.
Than the Biebs.
But I mean, like, Bruce Springsteen, he probably like, what, like 50 years in the game?
Yeah.
Like, Biebs has been doing it for like maybe 20.
$500 million on your, I wonder what the tax after that. So what do you feel about valuing your discography? Like, do you, like, you know, it kind of, the question that I'm asking is just like, because it's interesting that there's like a business around art, right? And just how do you value
Yeah.
your musical creation? How do you value your masters?
Weird, man.
I guess you probably have a lot of data to work off of too, right? Of
Yeah.
like already, so it's like, okay, this is what's made this much already. So
Was there a back and forth in the sales meeting room? Like he's like, actually, 300 million's like what I feel it's worth, and they're like, the highest we'll go is
Goes
to
200.
you know.
I would say that, like, in a way, for lack of better terms, he's selling out. Because you gotta admit, for artists, sometimes you get burnt out.
Facts.
And you don't want to keep doing it forever.
Mm.
To keep touring.
yeah, it's a
And
lot.
to keep doing a lot. It takes a lot out of that one person as, like, this whole enterprise.
Yeah.
And 200 mil is not a small sum. He could
Not at
go
all.
create another business or something, Or does he have a kid yet?
Not
No.
yet.
See, because what he could do is, like, he could be like Rick Moranis and just, like, cash out that 200 mil, have a kid with his wife, and then just be a really good father
Yeah.
for, like, a long time.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah.
Right?
Facts.
And maybe this decision was after, because we talked about him previously about, like, his
Health issues.
his like face, like, being like paralyzed and, like,
Yeah.
doing that,
Just pushing it. He's been pushing it since he was like what, 13?
Yeah.
13, bro.
Since Usher was like, I'm gonna make this boy stop.
Yeah. So that's
Do you-
nonstop.
What's it?
Do you see at some point would you if you were in that position, would you be open to selling your catalog of music, or would you want to be like Prince and like kind of stay in control?
Bro, Prince is like one of my biggest inspirations, like, ever. I fucking worship that man, like, more than I would like to admit. But it's crazy because, like, if you think about the way he went about it, it was like he owned everything and he refused to give it up to anybody. But that was just because he wanted his own creative control. He wanted to be able to control the music. I think when you're, like, at a point like Justin Bieber is, where you're just like, whatever, fuck it. And, like,
Yeah.
I'm just assuming he feels that way. I think it's justified, but, like, I don't know. Nah, but I don't know. In my opinion, right now, as a 22-year-old, I'm saying I probably wouldn't, because like, I want to be able to keep on, stacking on, like, more on my discography. But I don't know what's gonna happen. So, like, just see how it goes. Honestly,
I think it's pretty interesting, like what you said, him being more of an industry artist in a way, I guess,
Definitely.
as opposed to, like, I won't even throw examples, but like you're speaking about Prince, like him, for example, his artistry was at the forefront, but the Biebs had a lot of, like, just commercial
Power.
a lot
Impact,
of
yeah.
super commercial. So I wonder if, like, if you've been in that kind of highly commercial music making space where it's just like, I don't even care about any of the hits that I'm dropping. Like, I care because I want to do good at it, but he knows that he's just getting placements for
for
it's
sure,
just like,
for sure.
it's not his heart and soul
Yeah.
into probably a good chunk of the songs, but I don't know. It probably would be easier, I guess, in that position to be like, fuck it.
Yeah, let
I
it
didn't
go.
even want to do this the whole time anyways. So, like,
And
take it
did.
all.
I feel that, bro. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. It's just interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
seeing these artists get. I feel like with the Biebs though, I think, like, his discography's got it, and they, anytime it's streamed or replayed or
It's good
anything,
money. It's a
it's a
good
lot of
investment for
Yeah,
the
for
company
sure.
that.
crazy good investment.
Yeah.
They're gonna start pimping and hoeing out his music like crazy.
Facts.
It's like we're gonna hear Bieber in all these McDonald's commercials, and just like you can just like rent his songs for
Yeah.
anything.
Randomly. You
Yeah.
guys heard about what Mike did to the Beatles, Michael Jackson?
Yeah, tell the people who.
Well, I'm not like entirely sure, but what I heard was that he basically just bought all of the Beatles masters, right? This is kind of like to spite Paul McCartney or something.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? That's all I know, though.
I don't think it was to spite Paul McCartney, but Paul McCartney was talking to Michael Jackson about, like, acquiring royalties and stuff like that to make, an investment. And he just bought all their music.
Yeah,
And Paul McCartney like, what? And then now, I mean, I think Paul McCartney was like doing like the Eagles at the time, but it's just like he just bought it all because I mean at that point in time, like in the infancy of Michael Jackson, before Michael Jackson was at his height, the Beatles were the band for like the longest time.
For sure.
And you know, to get royalties on that, like, you know, anything.
It says here on August 14th, 1985 is when Michael Jackson bought the publishing rights to the vast majority of the Beatles catalog. He bought their catalog for $47 million.
Dang, that's nothing.
And he
$47 million.
And he outbidded Paul McCartney himself. So Paul McCartney was trying to bid on his own masters too. And Michael Jackson went and outbid him.
It said the financial advice of Paul McCartney too. And like, he's like,
that is so cool. He said, he hit him with the hee.
Allegedly.
Michael Jackson, did Paul McCartney give you that financial advice?
Allegedly.
Got him.
Macaulay Culkin.
Crazy,
That's pretty wild. You know, I think it's interesting, just the business behind the music industry and
Yeah, it is interesting.
the money and all that behind us.
So to put it in terms of like the Spotify streams, the Beeb gets 69 million streams a month. You're on Spotify. What does that translate to?
69 million.
69 million.
I know that 1 million on Spotify is like some bullshit. It's like
It's not
30 cents.
yeah, no,
Is
no,
it?
it's not like it's not like a lot, but it's not like a little either. I think it's like 1,000 something. I can't be too sure, but you know, I don't think it's like a fucking tiny number. But
Maybe get that on title.
Trying to do the facts.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's like let me see, how much is one? It's it's like 100,000 streams might be $4,000. So 1,000, or this is updated
That's
2023 royalties calculator. So that means 10 streams gets you 0.04 cents. So that means 1 million streams would get you $4,000, right?
oh, okay.
So then let's just fucking multiply 69 times 4,000, 69 times 4,000. That's 276,000 a year, or 1,000 a month.
Oh, month.
$276,000
wow.
So he's making $3 million a year off royalties.
Dang.
Oh, wow.
Off Spotify, just like not merch, not like whatever.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
That's the thing. We gotta also take into accountability. Did Justin Bieber actually own his masters?
Originally.
I imagine. Allegedly.
Scooter did.
Scooter, yeah, like
yeah.
the manager.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
You know,
Scooter had him.
it's Clancy.
You never know, man.
Yeah, you don't.
Record labels could take that too.
Yeah, 360 deal, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Biebs. You know, there's just some interesting stuff in the music industry. But you know, really what we came here to find out is we came out here to find out about our lovely guest, Mr. Jose Homicide.
Yeah.
Please tell the people, I don't know, who you are, what you like to do, what you been up on.
Man, that's so broad. I don't know, man. I just, I've been making music for a pretty good minute. Like, since I was like, I've been making music my whole life. I didn't start releasing it until I was like, 18? I showed you guys like the first couple songs I was gonna release.
Yeah.
They're really good too. That's funny. He was so shy about it.
Yeah. I think I just love art in general. I paint, I make music, I love playing instruments. Yeah, man. I like to think it's a pretty simple life. I like to, I like to do what makes me happy. So I think that's really that's all I do.
What
I
it
just do
is.
shit that pleases me.
As you should.
As you should. When you like first kind of started dabbling with the music, what motivated you to like be like, I'm gonna try it and do it? Oh,
Nice.
that's
Nice.
fire. I was like, wait a second. Yeah, that's
The mouth.
No. Realistically, when I wanted to make music, I was going to like friends' houses to like record, but they only had like USB mics, and like they would just plug it into the computer and we would record on like some like bullshit DAW. And then I would come home and I wouldn't have nothing to record. I'd have all these songs and I'd be like, I still want to record. What do I do? And then I saw an interview with Steve Lacy where he was like, "Oh, I've been recording on my phone. I record songs on my phone." I was like, "I can do that." So I went in like my closet, set up my phone, like my headphones, and I recorded like 3 albums.
Dang.
like that,
Wow.
or 4, I think.
Dang.
And yeah, it was tough. It was like annoying as hell. Like I would have to go in like my mom's Prius to mix the songs too, because like the car speakers.
Yeah.
So it was just like it was annoying. But GarageBand really came in clutch for that. And then I think one of the albums I made on GarageBand is actually my most streamed album like ever to this day. So thank God, right? Thank God I tried a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really felt like I had to put something out. I really loved music. I really liked putting my voice on something and letting people hear it. So I think that was it, man.
So at first, was it just kind of like a play thing? Not like a play thing, but it's more like this is something that I enjoy. But yeah, more like experimentation, like the natural play, you know?
Absolutely. Like when I first started making music, it was literally just because like I would go to my friend's house or like we'd be out and about, and then we'd go back to like my friend Gabe's house and we'd start recording.
Shout
out,
Gabe.
It was just super fun. Like super fun. I was having a blast. Like we would say such stupid things on like songs, and sometimes we would like mess around with like melodies, and it was just so cool. It was like a new adventure every time we got on. So it was just, it was more rewarding than it was like we need to get rich.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's pretty beautiful.
So your beginning, would you say, was like with your friends? Like,
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Absolutely. It was like in high school, like we would like battle rap each other at lunch and stuff. It was, just kids being dumb, and then like everybody that would like battle rap each other at lunch, they'd just be like, that's done at lunch. But we'd be like, no, we're gonna go home and record ourselves.
That's tight.
Like taking it so seriously or whatever. But yeah, it was cool. It was definitely really cool.
Do you think that like because your start to creating music was with people, that it's easier for you to like collab with artists and stuff? Like, it's not something.
You know what? It's crazy that you say that, because like sometimes I get a little anxious like collaborating with certain artists, because I'm like, what if I don't live up to what they want, or
Their
like,
perception.
what if I don't want, like, we don't level each other out well enough? But like I think working in like an environment with a lot of people and trying to achieve one goal, not like anybody like trying to top each other, like, oh, I'm gonna have the best verse on this song, or I'm gonna have the best hook. I think it's like easier for me to work with people that I like actually think about just making good music with, not just like trying to be better than them or them being better than me. So I guess like in an environment with like my friends and stuff.
Just want to make sure you're talking into the so the audio's coming in nice.
Absolutely. But yeah, just like with my friends and stuff, that's cool. Like we could just go in there, do whatever we want, make some people laugh. Like half of my friends don't make music, half of them do. So we'll just make stuff, and then they'll like listen to it, and they'll just like giggle and stuff. So that's cool.
Part of the creative process.
Yeah. So yes and no. That's the answer to your question.
How is for the times that you have like collaborated with people on tracks who weren't like already like close homies? How is that experience? And do you still feel like you're in the process of getting more comfortable with like working and collaborating with people in that way?
Here's the thing. When I first started like actually releasing music and people would ask me for features, like random people on Instagram, I would just be like, yeah, bro. And then be like, what's your budget? And my dumbass would be like, I'll do it for free. Dope. I have so many songs out there that are never going to be deleted that I didn't get a freaking cent from. But at the same time, it's like, these are just like some random kids on Instagram. I can't be mad at them.
I had to go through it to
learn it. Yeah, for sure. But like, no, go ahead.
I was about to say, kind of like when you're first starting off, you're looking at every opportunity.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Like you're at open mics, you're just kind of grinding, right? They talk about that a lot in like comedy. It's just,
facts.
Like they're willing to drive all the way to Orange County to get more time and just do whatever. But then those are reps for you. Obviously, you're so young, you didn't know to like ask for money.
Yep.
And I mean, a little extra change would have probably been good, but like, dude, you get in the reps.
Yeah.
Because you enjoy the craft, and like at the end of the day, you're probably better because of it.
Yeah, I think it helped me grow for sure. It was just like, Like, man, I was just giving myself away. I was like a fucking prostitute.
I was giving myself away.
I think like as a creative, like I feel like that's like just a part of the process. If you're like trying to build, I don't know,
like showing what you can do.
Yeah.
Right. Before you're like, all right, start like like charging, because sometimes people like, yeah, okay, you can do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you in a place where you feel more comfortable asking for money definitely. Now when you're getting features or when you're working with people?
Like, it depends. Like, there's certain people like Calvin Cujo,
shout out the boy,
Jacob, Gabe, like them. I will never ask them for a cent if they want me on the track. Like, even if I have like 20 million Spotify listeners, I do not care. That is those are my brothers. They will always get free features because I love them. But it's like, sometimes people just get on like the most disrespectful shit in the DMs. They're like, "Hey, I have a track for you. You gonna be on it or not?"
Trying to like push you down.
Stop it! Yeah, dude.
You're scaring me.
You gotta be on it or not?
Yeah, no, like for example, I'm not gonna name any names, but there was this rapper from like the high school over. Like across town from the one I went to, and like I looked up to him, like he was so good when I was in high school, and like I reached out to him for a feature, like not knowing how any of that worked, and he was like, "I got you, little bro. Just send it to my email, and I could do it for about $250." And I was like, "Dude, you have like 66 followers on SoundCloud. What are you doing?" And
60s.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. I didn't understand how SoundCloud and the internet worked, but
just in the mic.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Oh
there you go.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. But anyways, like fast forward 3 years, and this guy's in my DMs, and he's like, "Hey, bro, like I see you grinding out here."
You're killing
me. I was like, okay, should I be a bitch or should I just like live out my like teenage like fantasy or whatever?
Funny. Sometimes you all come to that decision. All right, should I just be a bitch right now?
Yeah, and he was just like, "Yeah, bro, we should link." And I was like, "Okay, but if you want to book me, you have to hit redrumrecords@gmail.com." And he was just like, "Oh, for sure, bro." Nothing. Nothing. Gone. And it was like kind of fulfilling, but at the same time it was like, man, why do people have to be dicks all the time? But whatever, man. People are gonna be dicks. Fuck it.
Yeah. And then you just keep it moving and avoid them types.
Egos and stuff like that. You can't choose their personality.
Yeah, facts.
It's interesting, I think, as you continue to like develop and get bigger and bigger, because it's just interesting, like the people that come out the woodworks or switch up or do it. Just you just kind of see how people move. It's interesting. I wanted to ask, when it comes to kind of creating, is there a particular either medium or genre or thing that kind of inspires you creatively? Or like when it comes to you making music, for example, like where do you draw your inspiration from? I guess would be a more concise way to ask this question.
Man, I have like this problem where I hyperfixate on like one tiny little like genre of music for like a month, and I will just obsess over it. Like when I was working on my last album, I got super obsessed with cumbia music, and it's like it's Colombian like dance music. It's crazy, dude. It's so groovy. And like I couldn't stop listening to it. Like every morning, night, day, like every time I would listen to music, it was just that. And then like about a week later, it like turned to house music, and I just want to know everything about house music. And then that just faded away. So it was just like, I think when I look for inspiration, I like super fixate on just trying to master one genre, and then like once I feel like I'm comfortable with it, I move on to the next one. That's why like my last album, I send it to people and they're like, "What genre is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Can't put it in the box.
Like it's just all the genres I was obsessed with for the last 2 years, you know?
Is that frustrating? The idea when people want to box you into a genre,
dude.
Genres,
so annoying.
Like it's like categories. It's like you need to take this individual and file them under like hip hop or R&B,
exactly,
or
bro.
like dance music or whatnot, and just You're just like, why can't you just make music and then, you know, figure it out afterwards, you know?
Yeah, I get that. I think I feel like I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, why can't people just be like, oh, you're a rapper, oh, you're a singer?
Dude, just
like, why can't I just be like a musician?
Yeah.
do you ever tell people that you make homicide music?
No, that's the thing.
That's
I feel like
funny.
as far as like the name Jose Homicide, I feel like it works in my advantage because like people listen to it, they're like expecting to hear like crazy murder rap music, but then they hear like some like really like lush string sections, like
Thoughtful.
thoughtful lyricism about love, and they're just like, oh shit. So I think that's kind of like an advantage I have
Yeah.
in music.
I love it too, and even we had some incident with our mom earlier this week. And,
This morning at breakfast, and she's like, something, Mr. Homicide gonna be there?
Oh yeah.
Like at the airport, there's just a guy waiting for you for the limo, just homicide.
we're like,
Homicide.
Yeah,
like,
we're-
you know,
we're
like,
like-
when you get big, it's just like he's just like
Oh, Jose who? Something like
Mr.
that.
Homicide.
Oh, that's
Here,
what-
here, Mr. Homicide. Here's your limo. Yeah,
yeah, we're
He's just like all the people getting off like,
homicide.
you ready?
We all just have shirts that say homicide on it.
He's just like
But-
trembling, like
He's just like, oh, who am I picking up? Oh,
She was
my
like, oh,
goodness.
so who's coming on tonight? We're like, Jose. And she was just like, homicide?
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just
Jose
funny hearing
who?
our mom is just like,
Like, wow.
homicide?
Yeah, it was just
It's
great.
actually a homicide.
And I was like, that's fire though. That's,
Yeah.
that's tight. I love
his
the
last
name.
name is Homicide.
Yeah, homicide.
Homicide. It's a
That was
family
sick
name.
though. But yeah, cool little moment. But
Yeah.
That Brandon's tough.
Yeah,
yeah,
man, it's definitely.
Who's playing for the church function?
So-
Jose Homicide.
Your last project, Holocene,
Yeah.
you were speaking of like just absorbing all these different genres and implementing them into your music. I was really impressed listening to it because that's like the range and the level of execution that you were able to accomplish on it was very impressive to me. Like as I was listening to the project, Jose Homicide, Holocene, check it out. I was so impressed.
Thank you.
It was cool. I was driving back home from coming out here, and so that's when I like to listen to new music, especially when I'm on the road. And I was thinking by the time I got to LA, when I was pulling off, can't remember what track exactly was playing, but I just had the thought, I'm so impressed and grateful to have people around me who can create and kind of execute at this level.
Wow.
And for these all to just have been ideas that came from your mind and to hear them done this well, and it's all these different genres, it was really cool.
yeah.
And I was like, this is like the type of project that you could like fucking shop around to, it was such like a great sampler of like just what you can
Yeah.
do,
Yeah,
the
the
range,
range.
and
Thank you.
done well. And so it's just like to know someone who's like, it's so cool to be in close proximity with people, creators who can like are challenging themselves to grow and like push themselves in this way and are also able to execute it that
Thank
well
you.
too.
Thank
Can you
you.
give us some kind of, I guess, background into the creative process behind Holocene? Like when you first started on it, did you
Man.
have kind of a vision in mind, or were you like, let's just like,
Absolutely, man. I love talking about this so much.
Yeah.
Like, so I put out a record, Homicidal Volume 1. That was like in 2020. And I was like, okay, now this is out. I'm going to spend the next 2 years just like living my life and seeing what happens, and try to write music as like minimally as possible. Cause I wanted to like really take everything in and just like go crazy after like once I had like all these experiences to write about. So I from when that record came out, Homicidal Volume 1, to when my next one, Holocene, came out, it was like I lived so much that I was like so excited to talk about it. And like I think what I just wanted to talk about was like how that little time period just felt so long because it was like I was doing so much. Like the first track, Sanctuary, that is literally like about a time I went to the beach with my friends, and it's just this one little moment that I like pinpointed so well. Like I just wanted to capture it forever, so when I'm like 30, 40, 50, I could just go back and listen to that and just remember,
Be there.
yeah, just like really be there. Like everything from like the vocal samples of my friend, like, you know, we pranked him and told him that he got his girlfriend pregnant, and like I just recorded it.
Pranking my friend, you know.
Like, I just threw it out.
You just got punked, bro. You just got punked.
Bro, literally, it was like
No,
so,
you got spunked, bro. You got spunked. Oh. It's like, oh, jeez.
yeah, but it was just like I was just trying to document as much as possible, and like at the same time, not let anybody down for waiting for 2 years, you know, and. Although it was some of like the best time that I've had in like my, you know, beginning of my 20s, it was also pretty horrifying. Like a lot of really bad stuff happened. Like I almost died in a car accident. That like really messed me up.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, like I didn't want to like leave my house for like weeks and stuff after, and it was horrifying. So it was just like I want to talk about all the great things that happened, but not shy away from all the really messed up stuff that like messed with my head.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, I think that's such a perfect record because it's like I wasn't lying to anyone. I wasn't trying to be anybody I wasn't. I was just telling my fans, my listeners, like this is exactly what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
And I just want you to understand, like, you know, I'm a regular dude, and if you're a regular dude too, then shit happens.
Yeah.
Life is good sometimes it isn't. Fuck it, go with it.
Yeah.
Live life.
Yeah.
So yeah, creative process though, just like vibing,
Yeah. Vibing, chilling, macking, hanging,
doing my thing.
doing my thing, you know.
So when you're like, so you get inspired by just the moments that you experience and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So are you more aware of like a moment that might inspire you musically? Like when something happens, do you like note to yourself like, oh, this might be something I want to write about? Or do you think it comes back to you when you're, you know, is it something that you experience a moment and you're like, oh, saving it for later, maybe I can write about this? Or when you're writing, are you thinking back at what moments? I don't know, because like an awareness, I guess.
The thing about me is like once I have a creative spark, if I don't act on it immediately, it's gone. It's gone forever. It sucks. So like if as soon as something happens, I'll just like go home or stop what I'm doing and start recording. So like I think that's kind of how I go about it. Like I had like a moment the other day that I wanted to write a song about, but like I got home like a week later thinking about it, and I was like, I don't even remember how I felt at the time. So yeah, it's all just like in the moment. Like it happens, and I'm like, yeah, this would be good.
Nice.
But it's not like I live my life trying to have moments to write songs about. That's
with the intention of
but like it happens, and I want to let it out, and I'm like, so
yeah. I didn't mean like intention like for like creating moments. I'm just like for me sometimes. For me sometimes when I'm like with the friends or something, and I'm just like, dang, this isn't something that I, you know, get often, or it's been a while since we've been together, and I'm just like really soaking it in. It's, you know, especially if it's something like I don't know, like a trip, or I don't know, just sometimes I feel like I could tell that something's gonna be a life memory. And
absolutely.
So I guess it was more like that, but
that's an interesting concept, because I think of Childish Gambino when he says like, yeah, if I have a thought at 3 a.m. I get up and write that shit.
Absolutely.
Because what is it? The faintest ink is better than the best memory.
Yeah.
So like just jotting down the notes, but I kind of feel like in the same realm of with you is like soak it in. So what I do is like sometimes just for thoughts or ideas, carry like a notepad, and then, you know, you jot it down. You're not like on your phone and like, what are you doing there? You're like, you know, just kind of doing that. But it's like, I don't know.
And you can also have celebrities sign it too.
Yeah, that's true. You know,
Notepad.
Jeremy, honestly, he's like, what the fuck?
context.
Like,
Context. We were at the Kendrick Lamar show, and the lead actor from The Bear, Jeremy Allen, was there. And Kevin had his like notebook, and he was like, I'm gonna get his attention. And then he went over there and he was like, Chef. Chef. And then Jeremy Allen actually turned around and he was like, oh. And then he came down. And so Kev he had the notebook that he's talking about. And he had the notebook and the pen. He threw it to him.
Hard,
and then he
bro.
signed it and then threw the book back. And then as soon as finish this story. As soon as he caught the journal, he caught it back, the fucking lights went off and then K-Dot went on. So it was just like the perfect timing.
Wow.
He just
Like, the whole, because I mean, like, just the orchestrated of like me going in there,
I'm gonna
him
do it.
taking enough time. Because Dimitri was like, "Hey Kevin, isn't that like that white guy you like?" I'm like, "I don't like guys." And he's like, "No, from that show,
From the
you know, the
show,
food
chef.
and the stuff." I'm like, "Oh yeah, the bear." And then between that and me, like, because I looked at you guys and like, no, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm on my
Yeah,
thing.
he said,
I'm on my
That's
thing."
hard, though.
I'm like, I haven't missed in a while,
Yeah.
so let's try.
He don't
So
miss.
I'm taking a heat check. And
That's
sure enough, I'm
crazy.
just like,
Dunked
that's
it.
what I do. That's what I do. You know? And then we came back, and it just like
That was
'cause,
wild.
Like, I had the video. Dimitri has the video where it goes, and it's just like as soon as it gets in my hands, I'm like, ha! It would have sucked if it went. Like, oh no, man! What? Yeah, right? It
The
was
lights
perfect.
literally shut
It was
off. Like it
perfect.
touched his hand and
It
then the
touched my
lights
hand,
all
just
shut off.
and I was like, wow. Because I had no
That's crazy,
idea when the
dude.
lights were gonna go
Keep
off.
that
or
notepad
anything.
on
That's
you.
so sick.
But yeah,
bro.
no, like I mean, like I love Moleskine notepads and Mont Blanc pens and whatnot. but it's just nice to have because you can always jot down an idea. But
Yeah.
I do like because remember back when I used to like take like photos and stuff, and I used to be like taking
Yeah.
photos of like people at festivals and stuff. My friends would get mad because it's like Kevin's off there like having like doing that thing, and I realized that I'm like, oh man, like people feel some type of way because I'm supposed to be there with them, and I'm over there trying to like
Document.
acquire,
Nah, I feel
document,
that,
do
bro.
things like that. So it's a dichotomy of like,
Yeah.
just-
The balance of like capturing a moment or and
gotta
then-
like you gotta like just have a tick mark, one for me, one for
Yeah, I
you.
know.
Yeah, I
When
feel that.
when it comes to your inspiration, do you like, let's say you get something triggers that creative juice, and what's your first reaction? Like, do you put a note in your phone, or like you'd mentioned earlier, you'll just try and like get home and like record and make it happen? Like, do you like what is your process? Like, so Kevin's saying he'll just jot in his notebook real quick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what is your like quick first like?
Immediately, I just like
Dang.
it's crazy because like
Voice record.
yeah, like I'll get on the voice memo thing and I'll just start humming. I'll be like, like ideas for songs and stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. But no, it's funny because like as soon as I get that creative spark, like I could be anywhere and I'll just be like, oh, whoa, and I'll just like go find my phone or a notebook
Mommy,
or
what's
something.
going on with that guy?
Yeah, I'll just be like singing like in the corner.
In the corner.
Yeah, but like, but I mean, it comes with everything. Like I have like a super long. I have like a note, in the notes app.
Yeah.
It's just like a bunch of song titles I would like to use one day.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like I just write it down as soon as it comes to me. Because
Nice.
it's like any moment wasted, I like lose its potency.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Could you imagine like being in like Prince's entourage or like any of those guys? It's like I'm just inspired. I gotta leave.
Yeah.
It's like-
yeah.
Like real like
Facts.
nowadays we go. I just pull up my phone, but that guy is just like, I have to get home stat.
Yeah, for
Kinda
real.
Figure it all out.
Damn, man.
But the opportunity we have,
And-
that's great. Oh, so-
You're good. In the past couple of years, it seems like you've gone deeper and deeper into the producing side of your music as well. Because I remember there was just at one point, we'd come over and you were already playing with some shit, and then you're like, check this out, and you're just playing stuff that you'd been putting together. What has been that journey of going from just like writing songs to stuff to like being more hands-on with the production? Was there like a main driver to that?
I think the main like I feel like the reason why I started producing was because I realized all like the YouTube like type beats are just so like
J. Cole type beat.
yeah, bro, they're so like lame. Like don't get me wrong, there's a lot of producers, a lot of really great type beat producers who are really like
Type
making
beat.
amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. I feel like from what I wanted to do, I couldn't find anything that just fit like exactly my sound. So I just started like experimenting. At first it was horrible. Don't get me wrong. It was awful. But the more I tried and the more I found different sounds and the more like I really tried to connect with the song rather than just making a beat to like throw my voice over. It was like, oh, I'm actually making a connection with the instrumental and it can all work as one. Because if you just rap over a type beat that you find on YouTube, J. Cole X King Batch type beat, I don't feel like it's part of me. I feel like if I'm gonna make a song, I want to be in control of everything, you know, even as small as like the beat cuts. That's kind of why. Yeah. So, yeah.
Be hands-on with it
for sure.
What do you find yourself spending the most time on? Is it the recording or the beat production?
Ooh,
like the writing and recording or the beat production? Yeah.
There's been some songs where I do it at the same time and I won't leave like my desk for like 20 hours. It's crazy. Yeah, 18,
you're just in a flow
20.
state.
Yeah, dude, I'm just like whoa. And I've noticed like most of the songs that I've done like that, where I make the beat and the vocals at the same time, they're always really like crazy. Like, I think those are some of my favorite songs. But there's this one song. It's actually the last song on my last record. It's called "Everywhere at the End of Time."
Nice name.
Thanks. It's inspired by something I heard. We will get into that. Yeah. But like while I was making that, I just made like the bare bones of it, and I was like, oh, I think I should put some lyrics over it. And I did it like the whole beat, everything took like maybe 45 minutes, and then like the next year and a half I just spent like randomly working on it. Yeah, so it really just depends on how I'm feeling that day, really. But most of the time at the same damn time, you know?
At the same damn time.
Do you think that how do you know when a song is like the song is complete? Like,
oh, I never.
That's a great,
I never know when a song's done, dude.
So is it hard then? Like,
yeah.
Is it hard just like moving on? Like, okay, yeah, I think
like,
this is complete.
I noticed. I don't think my last record would have ever came out if I never would have just like slapped myself in the face and said, "Stop, cut it the fuck out, dude. Like, you need to cut it out." But like, you know, I don't know. I never feel like anything I work on is done. So I just want to, I have to stop myself eventually. That's all. Yeah.
What a moment to get to in your like creative journey to start getting comfortable with saying this is good enough.
Yeah, dude. I want to like, I'm starting to realize it's not about perfection. It's about like, it's like, I need to find my limits as to like how good I can make a song. Like, I'll put like an entire like saxophone player on it, and then I'll be like, no, I want a trumpet. And like dude,
brass section.
Literally, I want a whole 7-man brass section.
I want a cannon.
But yeah, like I think it's just like, it's not about perfection. It's just about what I think sounds the best, and like when I should just draw the line, when to say when, you know. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's definitely tough.
Yeah.
It's like saying goodbye to your kid going to college or something. Like, how can I let you go?
Sorry, saxophone, but trumpet's coming up next.
So
there's only so much room.
You had touched on earlier, you know, back, we had met years prior. Sev and I had met you years prior, and some of the first times you were showing us music, you know, there was a hesitancy with it. And it was funny because after we had heard it, we were like, what? It was so not even justified, the hesitancy, because you're like
killing it.
Good. It was good. It was funny. So it was just like, oh, what was this kid being so shy for? So since then, you've actually been like releasing projects and releasing tracks and like pushing that side of you, being so vocal and making it who you are, like very presenting it to the world. How has that been for you, releasing music and kind of overcoming that? Because it seems like you've came a long way since then.
You know what? Like I feel like music, forgive me if it sounds like pretentious or corny, but I think music actually like saved me as a person. Because before that, I wasn't confident about literally anything that I had. Like, I could skate a little. Like, I was never good in school. I tried my best. I graduated, thank God. But like, for some reason, I just never like excelled at anything. And like when I found something that like I wanted to present to the world as mine, like I'm literally giving the world something that's literally a part of me, I was so nervous to let it out. So I think it was just like getting over the fact that people are going to see me like that. And then once I started realizing like, oh, it's really not that bad at all. Like I just got to put it out there. People are going to talk shit, whatever. Some people are going to like it, whatever. And then, you know, now I'm here 22 years old and I still feel the same sometimes. Like I still feel like, shoot, like what if I put this out and nobody likes it? But I'm at the point where I can say like, what matters is if I like it. If my friends like it, if I like it, if it makes my mom smile and she doesn't have a problem with it, like, you know, why did you say that?
Yeah.
You know, like, I think it's just a matter of making yourself happy. If you like it, go for it. Who cares?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting the time that we live in, because it's so easy to I guess, I don't know, worry or consider or just get lost in a sauce of like, how will other people
Perception.
and then we lose kind of we can just I don't know, owning our own like selves, like who we are and like what we create, and just that it is what it is, and
like
being
there's so many like outputs and things that could judge you that you kind of like, when you worry about what other people think of you, it like paralyzes you.
Absolutely.
You're like, well, what did this person think? What did this person think? I sadly have like the opposite, where I don't care, because at one point in time when I was like in second year, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die. I'm like, then nothing matters. Like I don't care. You're mad at me now. Like, dude, you're gonna die. Like, what? You're gonna die. Dude, there was a time.
You'll stop being mad at one day.
There was a time in elementary school. I'm like I don't like you, Kevin. I'm like, well, you're gonna die one day. He's like, what?
What do you mean I'm gonna die one day?
Well, because like when I was young, like, dude, like by the time I was like maybe 8, I'd gone through like several grandparents who like funerals and stuff, just left and right. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen. It's gonna keep happening. So eventually I stopped worrying about like what other people think, because eventually, you know, we're all gonna pass away and we're all gonna like, you know, but like that idea of mortality makes it easy, because then it's like I don't really care about like the mindset of all these other people. My thing only matters because I'm living and I'm in my head. But like you can't please everyone else. Right? And then you find that out like normally over life. It's so much pressure. And then people who usually try, they break. You know, in a catastrophic way. And it's just like, what happened? He's like, oh, I was just trying to like please everyone, like my parents, and do this and try to live up to their expectations, and then
goes bad.
And then you kind of just like have that. But I think it is a big hurdle for a lot of people. You know, that's why there's books like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Or like, you know, just, I mean, confidence books and Charisma on Command. You watch Charisma on Command?
Never. No.
That's a good one where they talk about like, they're just like characters and like talk about like why Matthew McConaughey is like, you know, really like cool. He's like all right. So, you know, just driving my Lincoln.
Nah, I feel that.
Flat circle, you know, kind of thing like that.
Time is a flat circle. I finally watched True Detective.
Did you? Oh my god.
True Detective is underrated. It's
bro.
fire.
That first season
Time's a
too
flat
is just
circle.
like, whoa, oh, little priest.
But
call closer now.
that is interesting, that being like a hurdle, you know, as they say, we are our own worst enemy. Do you feel at times that you're in a fight with yourself?
Oh, for a while I was, absolutely. Oh God, I was my own worst enemy for the longest amount of time. But once I realized, I forgot who told me, but somebody in my family was like, you need to take full responsibility for your actions if you want to get anywhere in your life. Because it's like, if I keep blaming, like, oh, I'm sad because my dad left as a kid. Like, no, dude, just get your shit together and go do it. Like, I needed like a kick in the ass to like tell me like, I need to stop blaming other people for my own misfortunes when it's really just me not getting on my shit because like I'm feeling sorry for myself. But once I started doing that, like I feel like everything in my life just started like throwing itself to my relationships, my friendships.
You're hitting
my
that
music. Yeah, it's like everything just started putting itself into place, and I was like, well, that's all I had to do, really.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
You're hitting that 25-year-old clarity.
Yeah.
22, that's like that's that mid-20s clarity.
We getting
That's
there.
early,
Yeah,
man.
you're early to it. That's amazing.
Because I think that's one of the biggest, and it's interesting that I think it seems universal that journey. I mean, some people, for whatever reason, they're able to kind of overcome that early on, or in like just particular cases. But it seems like for the majority of the masses that we have to go through this process of like unlearning to hold ourselves down or blame others, or to like say
Look outward instead
look
of inward.
outward instead of inward. I think like taking full responsibility over like everything that you do.
Facts.
I think that it's such a long journey to get to that point, and some people don't even hit that until like their 40s or their 50s or later. Beyond that, even some people never hit it in their whole lives. They'll just like continue to move through life without ever coming to that conclusion.
For sure.
And so it's a really productive place to be.
Thank you. I'm trying.
That's a really productive place to be.
So where are you at right now with like music, or what you're creating, or like what space are you in?
I think I'm at the point where I just want to keep on doing what feels natural, and I want to be better than I was one album, one single before. I never like want to put out a single that feels like, oh, I could have done a little better, because like once you put stuff out like that, you can't bring it back. Like people heard it, they're like, oh, what's going on there, dude? So like I'm just really focused on trying to be a lot better, working on myself, practicing every day. And like,
Nice.
you know, people always ask me like, you know, what do you do to like get better at yourself? I just practice, bro. Practice, dude. And that's like my number one thing right now. Like I'm always working on music. Even if I'm not working on music, not a single moment in my day like goes by where I don't think about it. And it's almost unhealthy, but like I am obsessed with it, unfortunately. But I mean, shit, I'd rather be obsessed with music than like crack or something.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
You know what I'm saying?
Crack is whack. I don't know if it's a hobby, but it's a lifelong obsession as well.
I think practice is huge.
Yeah,
because I'm
absolutely.
just started recently trying to go on. I am a pianist in training. That's how I'm gonna phrase it. I'm a pianist in training. I am on my way to being Adrian Broner the pianist. But so that's the journey that I'm on, and it's been cool because I've been like learning songs or learning how to play songs, and it's just really reaffirming. You know how you'll do some things in your life and it's just like a large life lesson on a small scale, like reaffirms like these overarching like life lessons that are like you need to practice in your being in order to be who you want to be, whatever.
Absolutely.
My journey with doing this piano shit has been like that, because now I can play songs, I can use like both hands. Like that was the first time, I've talked about this before, the first time I tried doing both hands at the same time, I felt like I just hit like a fucking wall, and it was like, I don't think I can do this. Like I really had a moment where it was so hard. I was just like, I don't know, I might have to just give this shit up altogether. But then I just was like, oh, feedback from a friend, just practice one hand at a time until you really got it down, then you do both hands together. And so through that journey of just practicing, getting to a point where I can do two hands fluid, they're doing that's so fucking crazy to me, considering on where I was at when I first looked at that mountain and almost just dropped my bag and my tools and said, I don't know if I can do this. But having gone through that journey of picking myself together, saying fuck it, I'm just gonna keep trying and practicing, and now I can do that. Like when I was first doing this too, it gave me the same feeling that I had when I had first caught my first wave surfing, and it was just like, oh my god, I'm fucking surfing. I'm like, part of my French, but it was literally like that. Like when I caught it, and I'm like, I'm skidding on the water, and I'm just like, I literally had a moment where I was like, holy, I'm fucking surfing. I'm surfing. I was like, whoa, and I was just so confident flying on it.
Because it's just like it's like
Literally
a feeling that you've never felt before of like being like on that board.
Like skidding
That's
on the,
crazy.
It's like being on this rock that you just fucking. And then the first, like, I snowboarded like 6 or 7 times, and I sucked at it every time. But this past year, my 7th time doing it, I was finally able to snow. Like I was like, I'm snowboarding.
Wow.
And just that journey of like practicing everything in life's like, you gotta practice at it, but you can overcome that obstacle.
100%.
And you can get there.
Yeah.
And that was just the most recent iteration of that lesson being burned in my mind, was just this little piano journey. And so I think that the practicing is just so key. And I think that that's, people will try things and then give up on them because it's too difficult or the mountain seems too high. But then with any, as my old boss used to say, or my old mentor, I should say, would be like, it's just that fucking hard. He's like, it's just that fucking hard. He's like, I wish I picked up so many things going through life, because he was naturally pretty good at things. But if he came up across something that was kind of challenging, he'd be like, oh, well, that's not for me.
Yep.
And so him now being like a 74-year-old man who's gone through a lot of life, like multi-millionaire, very successful, he's just like, one of his biggest regrets was that not realizing that it's just that fucking hard.
Yeah.
And if he had just stuck with so many things throughout his life, he would have gone so far in all these different things. But because he felt to him like it was too unnatural or too hard, he just dropped things. And so that was his, like, he was like, and someone's OG's trying to give you some life advice. He was like, my biggest regret is not sticking with shit.
Crazy,
because
man.
it just is that hard. And more recently, I guess, experimentation and iteration as far as business, but also everything. I think so, including with your, like, with the music creation, I think even hearing you talk about just like your creative process, I was like, it applies to that too. Just the iterations and experimentation. There's so much more that we have to do on our business side of things as far as experimentation. And I don't know, that's just very top of mind for me right now.
I feel it.
Experimentation and all these different things. We just got to keep trying things.
Yeah.
Man. Just keep on pushing it, bro. Seriously.
So you're in a practicing headspace. You're doing it every day. Are you working on a project?
Yes.
And
I am.
any details you can share on that?
I don't want to give away too much, but so what I do usually is I make like 5 different projects with all different sounds, and whichever one, I just let them fight to the death. Whichever one sounds best, I release.
Nice.
So the rest of them just go in the archive. So right now it's between like something really slow and jazzy, or something like really upbeat, up tempo to get the people fucking going.
Get the blood going.
So like I'm just trying to figure out what people want right now.
Gotcha.
So
What they on? What
y'all feeling, bro? What y'all want to do?
You want the vibes? You want the slaps? What's going on?
But yeah, man, it's been cool, man. I've been working with so many like talented people, so many wonderful musicians that I never thought I'd have an opportunity to be with.
That's tight.
And it's like, being in the same room as them, you're almost like, man, should I even be here? But then you got to remember, nah, they wouldn't be here if they didn't want to.
Yeah.
It's pretty lit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's really dope. How is, like, I guess the experience been, because you've been like you did a lot of recording at home, but you've been recording in some studios as well.
Oh, yeah.
How has that experience been recording in a studio as opposed to, doing at the home studio?
It's definitely cool. It's a lot more pressure. Like, I don't know why, but it feels like it's a lot more pressure when you're recording in the studio. Like a couple months ago, I was recording at like Anderson .Paak's studio or something.
Nice.
Or like I don't know, it was like his old studio or something. There was a bunch of plaques on, like Dre plaques, like some Eminem plaques.
Some hits was made there.
Yeah, dude. And I'm just like walking around the place like, bro, should I even? Like they don't realize who I am. They gonna kick me out in like 20 minutes. And like, I don't know, because when I'm there, I'm like, I need to perform at the top of my game. Like this one dude came and he was like Young Thug's engineer or something, and he was like, "Let me hear you spit something." I was like, "Okay, if you want me to."
The microphone's all like the headphones will drop.
I was like, "Okay, if you say so."
Yeah.
But like when I'm at home, bro, like I could just hide. Nobody has to see me.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but at the same time, I love meeting new people.
Yeah.
And, like working with them, and like I don't think I could do that anywhere else but a studio.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Big
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Do you think the comfort will come just the more you're in studios? Like, is it just?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Because like, I feel like it's just a different vibe. Like something about waking up and just immediately starting to record, like right when you just got out of bed, that it hits different.
Yeah.
But then like when you got to get all like, I gotta put on cologne
Mm.
and like I
Done
gotta
up.
go to the studio now. Like
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, I'm a different person. You know, I feel like I'm putting on like a suit to just go with these people and show them that I can live up to the personality that I'm portraying, and then leave, and then you know, forget all about it.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But
It seems like a for me, I'd imagine it'd feel like a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to tap into like that true feeling that you have. So you kind of have to like, it's almost like just getting good at like blocking out everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, that's what it seems like. Like the more you practice that, the better you can just tap into your zone and
Being mindful of the presentation without it impacting like the, what would you say, creative integrity.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Definitely. That's one of the biggest things. Like even when I invite people over to my house to record, like sometimes I'll like tell them like you guys gotta go. Just for like a moment, like just leave the room for a second. I'm gonna drop this verse. And then they'll come back and they'll listen to it and they're like, okay, I understand.
Yeah, I get it.
Because like I do some weird eccentric
He's like,
shit.
They look through the window and they just see you like naked, like
He's naked and covered in Jiffy peanut butter. He's like, all right. And then like he arrives, he's back in his robe. He's like, hey guys, like, you got like some chocolate right
and
here.
then it's the most fire verse.
It's like, it's like, I mean, you need to go to your headspace. Like, it's just, you want to be comfortable and to make the best music out there. You know, you kind of got. It's like that one scene in Hustle and Flow where she's singing the chorus for like, it's hard out here for a pimp, and she's like, I want you to think about all the pain. She's like, blah blah blah, and then she just like wails, and it's like, sometimes you need to do that for yourself, but it's just like you can't do it because you think about back to it, think about all the other people in the room, right? There's too many like, you know, like perspectives you're worrying about.
Yeah,
you just need to be worried about your own, right?
Yeah,
and
it's just like in life. I feel like it's just crazy.
Life is a performance.
Yeah,
right.
Essentially,
I was reading this one book. It's like, it's called, what is it? Like, it's like Laws of Nature, and basically it's talking about how when you're in a group, you act very differently.
Yeah,
because you're trying to assimilate to the kind of positive notes of the group. So if you act outside of the group, then you're shunned by the group, and that hits so much harder.
Yeah,
you know, versus like a one-on-one person. It's like, you know, if you've ever criticized a person in a group, they fire back. They get super defensive. But if you pull them aside, like, hey, dude, like,
they're like,
going on? But yeah, it's more understandable. But because they're embarrassed or something like that, they obviously defend themselves in a certain way. So when you are in a group, you're on a stage. You're on a small stage to like assimilate with a way. And the example that they used in the book was they were talking about like during Mao Zedong's like CCP and all that stuff, and people were like, yeah, they were kind of just assimilating, like, yeah, this is not
group
right.
Think,
this is not that group think was strong. And obviously that's very extreme, but you know, it's like being in, you know, a studio and be like, oh yeah, that shit's fire. Like, or someone be like, really like that. It's like, nah, it's flat, you know, a bunch of yes men.
It's like built into our
There's like this
humans.
old study that happened, and like they had actors that were acting like the participants in the study, and it was like,
Was it the pain test you're talking
no,
about?
it was something where it's
okay.
like, I think it was like a visual type of thing where like,
Oh, I got you. So
Yeah.
it was almost like an experiment on groupthink. And dang, I don't want to butcher what it was.
Exactly.
But it probably would be hard for me to. But here's the gist of it. They had like a control study basically where they had shown individuals, like, let's say there's like two images and they're saying like, one circle is this big and the other circle's noticeably larger, and then they'll ask at the end, which circle is bigger. And so the individuals would always be like, the right circle was bigger because it was. But then in the control group where they would have other actors around, the other actors in the group would unanimously say, oh, it was the left circle, which is noticeably smaller. But the more that individual who first said the right circle is bigger, the more that it was reinforced by these actors that the left circle was actually the bigger one. They would re-ask that initial, person which was the right circle, and then they would.
it was like 70% of the time, or a little bit more. It was like a pretty high
between
percentage.
60 to 70% of the time, they would purposely choose the wrong answer,
because
knowing that the right side is a bigger circle, but because of the groupthink, they wanted to they're like, maybe I'm the one that's fucked up.
Dude, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't it crazy experimentation?
Nah,
So
I get it.
it's just wild. We're such
It goes
like
deep. It goes deep. Yeah.
herd mentality creatures.
Bro.
What has been, I guess, one of the most rewarding things about your journey up till this point? Because I feel like you're gonna have a lot more rewards, and I think you're gonna get a lot out
You're
of
planting
this
the
journey.
seeds. You're planting the seeds,
Thank
bro.
I feel like
very
you'll get a
much.
lot out of this journey. But what has been, I guess, rewarding for you up till this point?
Man, I think it's been a lot of stuff. I've met a lot of wonderful musicians, a lot of wonderful people I wouldn't have met if I didn't make music.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the most rewarding is like just randomly getting people like telling me how much like my music means to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like a crazy amount. I don't get like hundreds of DMs a day type shit, but like, a couple. I think when my album came out, like a month out after my album came out, there was this kid, and he had been listening to me since I was like 19 years old, and he tried to video call me on Instagram, and I was like, this is weird. I don't even know this guy. But I answered, and he was crying.
Oh.
He was like, I've been waiting 2 years for you to drop.
Whoa.
And I was like, dude, relax.
But
That's
I'm
so
gonna
awesome.
wait another year now.
Yeah, like, I'm waiting so. Now you're gonna wait 4 years, dude. But nah, but like, we just chopped it up for a little bit, and he was like, I haven't even listened to it yet, but I'm so excited.
Oh.
Wow,
Like,
that's tight.
he's just like a little teenager. He's a wonderful guy, though. Seriously, a wonderful dude. And it's like, those people that have enough time in their day to just swipe up or something and say, hey, I really like this song. Like, knowing that I can like affect somebody, knowing that I can make somebody feel something, that's what's rewarding. Because it's never been about like, oh, I get 1 million plays, or I get a record deal for $10 million. That shit's second. It's all about the connections I can make. It's all about just improving overall life for people and making it a little easier. Because I know when I was in high school, I definitely needed Kid Cudi. I definitely needed A$AP Rocky. I needed all my favorite musicians. Like, without them, I don't think I would have grown into the person I am. And I just hope one day I can be that person for some kid out there.
True. That's really dope.
That's all that matters.
You already are, man. You're that to me too. I feel like you're like there's just like this light about you, and you don't even. It's crazy that we don't even know like what our actions do. Like, I mean, that's just one person that actually like reached out to you and did that, but I think you don't know like how
Who's watching?
Yeah, like who's really being inspired by you.
Wow.
Like we're just the ones close enough to tell you, or someone that gets brave enough to like just say it to you. But I think there's probably a lot of people out there that are just kind of watching, inspired, and probably waiting to like do something for themselves.
Hopefully.
It was kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I was thinking of this idea. I was like, think about you being someone's oldies or someone's retros.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
I freaking love that.
I forget what I was thinking about, but it was just like, I was like, yeah, like, maybe I was looking through like the records of like I think I bought a new Houseplant record album from Seth Rogen. It's just like a house party thing. But then I was like, oh, this is some oldies, you know, and stuff like that. And they had a steel drums PIMP like mix and stuff like that. I was like, dang, this is old too.
Some
But
deep cuts.
if you think about it, it's like at some point in time, like those were new songs.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fresh.
Now they're like, oh, throwbacks, like the whole.
Yeah.
What is that festival that you showed me with the Missy Elliott and the 50 Cent?
Lovers and Friends.
Oh my god, that thing's huge.
Yeah, dude.
Missy Elliott,
That's lit,
like
dude.
just everyone.
Work it.
I wish I could.
It's like
go to
it's
that.
like 106 in Park, BET, like Rap City, all wrapped up into like
Yeah.
2 days.
That reminds me, I think for us growing up, the reason why these like oldies like mean so much is because it was like all we had. Like there wasn't so much, and it was played so like over and over
like
again.
on like
So it's
BET or like MTV.
Everywhere.
Most definitely.
All we had, we didn't, man.
it's part of core
up until-
memories, you know. Like
for us, it was like high school, and you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Oh, I was like, oh, but it's crazy, you know, like this streaming shit. I was already graduated college before I got a streaming thing, and I was like, dang, I should have done this shit hella earlier.
Wow.
But it's like, you know, we didn't have access. We were just downloading shit. I was like,
cause
when I was in high school,
yeah.
I was just deep on the blogs. I was like
Oh,
blog
yeah.
era. So I was up like Two Dope Boys, like Nah Right, all them fucking hip hop blogs. So that's how I found out about like Kendrick and everybody. You know, like
wow.
Dom. Everybody was just like
Kennedy.
from 2009 up until the blogs died in
Concrete
like 2014. Yeah, Concrete Loop. There just would be all these like fucking hip hop blogs. And so Currency, just everybody. But it is
Currency.
interesting that like our sources were so limited on where we could even get this like music or content. So I think for our generation too, we have a strong connection to each other through these songs as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
Like when the Senorita comes on or certain tracks, like anyone generations after can
Appreciate it,
and
yeah.
enjoy it, but it won't hit the same. Like for us,
Exactly.
we have it's a touch point for us that we can all relate on.
Yeah.
We're all like, hey, this is
It's a nostalgia pocket. So like one thing that during like the pandemic I was looking up is like why people collect things, because it seemed like everyone was collecting some kind of dumb shit.
yeah.
Like, you know, but like music is the only time where you collect time in like this pocket, and it's like a capsule to like when you first heard it.
Yeah.
You know, because like I remember like, so for instance, like I was singing like the chorus of like Beautiful with like Pharrell and like Snoop Dogg, and I remember I gave like a CD to a girl that I liked that had that as like, it's like, you know, I think you're beautiful.
Look at you, Mackin. You're funny.
Yeah, I was
He was
like,
Mackin.
shit, I was burning CDs back
Yeah,
then.
I was burning
That was the
CDs.
shit. You
I was
with the
like,
markers.
No,
and,
but
like,
I was burning them. I was selling them. You know, I was like, hey, you need that new Wu-Tang? You need that new Britney Spears? I was
Hustler, hustler.
diversifying my bonds, because I was like, why are you buying so many CDs? I'm like, don't worry about it, mom. You know,
That's
this whole
smart.
thing. But like every song, dude. I remember when I first heard like Cool Kids. Like I was like,
Yeah.
close college. I was like, whoa,
Hard.
like,
Yeah,
Kanye
whoa.
West.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them premiering the Through the Wire.
Yeah.
Kanye West, like,
What?
and I was like, yo, this is crazy.
It was so big.
was
Those
wild.
moments, those like musical moments, like
Oh my god.
It's interesting. Do you feel that there are artists for, I guess, within your peers? Are there artists that you would say were like culturally significant, like between not only maybe you and your closest friends, because you guys probably have similar tastes, but if you were to even just think about kids that were in your grade or just peers within your age range, are there artists that you can kind of like universally, I guess, kind of tie yourselves to? Would that be a way to frame? Or is there anyone like that? Like, was it like, you know, Lil Yachty at one point? Was that like,
dude.
Oh my god. I'll get to Lil Yachty.
yeah.
But when I was in 7th grade,
What?
I'm so serious. You could not you couldn't go anywhere without hearing Tyler the Creator, ASAP Rocky.
That's crazy.
And that
Wow,
it was like
that's
the
crazy.
Crips and the Bloods, bro.
Wow.
It was like,
Crips in the blood.
What?
dude,
ASAP
you either rode with like ASAP Rocky and you liked ASAP Rocky, you wore the long t-shirts and the skinny jeans, or you like Tyler the Creator, you wore like really weird clothes.
Wow.
So it was like no in between.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
That was an
Parking lot brawl
unbelievable
must have
time,
been
bro. Crazy.
Wow.
That's
pretty
so
cool.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
I did
Like-
not know that it was like a like deciding factor.
No,
of like,
seriously,
you know,
dude.
skinny jeans versus weird clothes in the
Yeah,
parking
bro.
lot at 3.
In the parking lot.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, but yeah.
Bring your slammers. Like,
I was. You guys want to guess what crew I was rolling with?
You're with the Tyler.
Yeah.
okay.
I wasn't
The Tyler
hard.
crew.
That wasn't hard to guess.
The funny thing is, I was in college and I was listening to both of them. Just like I did not know, like down the way over at University High, they're like,
Yeah.
They're like,
the skateboarders and then, like the people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
chain.
bro. It was
Wow.
wild.
The love below.
Look.
Speak about.
yeah. Like doing something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Oh my god.
No, dude, it was definitely crazy. But then, like, you know, we got older.
I mean, at the time, Tyler's thing was like, you know, was it Odd Future, like Wolfgang, Kill Them All? It was like,
Yeah.
it was very aggressive.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
It wasn't, it was like Bastard and Goblin.
Mhm.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
shit.
those
Yeah, that was
those
crazy.
albums were
Wild.
dark.
Mhm.
And then only until he got to like Wolf Flower Boy,
Wolf Flower Boy.
it was
yeah.
like okay, like he on
He's
the
letting up.
Cherry
yeah.
Bomb. We won't even talk about that.
Yeah. I like Cherry Bomb.
some good
I like
songs.
Cherry Bomb.
Yeah.
Cherry Bomb.
Oh no, that's Wolf.
He's got some good.
You not want to be in a crowd when that goes
Oh
on.
my
Ooh,
gosh.
It's scary.
Oh, dude.
I'm like,
it's like
mosh pits
it's
are
like,
like-
it's like slow-mo kid.
We tried getting out. Yeah, that shit's stressful.
Dude, it is. It's
I
like,
don't like it.
it's like sound the alarm. Like
No,
Yeah.
definitely, bro. That was scary. Scary time to be a kid, bro. Seriously.
oh.
Do you feel like is it harder to connect with people based off of like, because everything is so, what's the word? I think everything's so like splintered. This isn't the best word that I could use, but everything's so
Yeah.
splintered, and it's like us growing up, you know, it was like MTV, radio, or
Yeah.
you
It's
were
all funneling
illegally
through.
downloading
Yeah.
shit. But you
Yeah.
know, even the hip hop block, like you know, it's all being funneled from these like it was still these main sources. But it seems like so many people are creating, so many people. There's so many platforms to distribute. There's so many different like just splinters. Do you feel like you being your age, is it harder to connect with people?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm more connected with anybody and everybody at the same time than I've ever been. But like it just feels it just feels so like I don't know you at all.
I forget where it was. I was saying like, yeah, like, you know, you can go talk to someone who's on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
We're so connected by our phones, but like communication wise, person to person wise,
Yeah.
we're so disconnected because
Absolutely.
I can be with you sitting and eating dinner, but I can be on my phone like talking to someone else.
Some dude in
You're
Germany.
never lonely. Yes, my dude in Germany is like, what, you're eating with that guy again?
Yeah,
You know,
like,
it's like,
wow.
you know, come eat currywurst over here. But the point is just like you're never alone, and you're never like, hey, like let me like really
Yup.
genuinely have a connection. So like this, I mean, I've been better about it because I'm always like on my phone doing business and stuff like that. I just like set it aside, or just like, you know, probably one of those like time jars.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know,
That comes in handy.
Yeah, because
I don't know, because it's like, what was I gonna say? It's like, I was thinking about this the other day. If you were to disappear off of social media, people would think you died.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
crazy.
I know. I
Like,
thought about that. Yeah.
My entire existence is just on like Instagram and like
Yeah.
TikTok and stuff, bro. Like,
Isn't it
I don't know, because I thought about it. I was like, what if I just like go MIA?
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, because then people are gonna think I died.
Yeah.
it's like what is it? I think, therefore I am. I post, therefore I am.
Oh god, bro, it's
Right? You
wild.
Yo, like, dude, bro, you haven't posted in like years. Like, where are you?
Are you
Like, I'll just
okay?
lurk.
Sometimes, yeah, that is kind of interesting. Sometimes I'm like, well,
Are
maybe
you
they
okay?
just needed space from
Mm-hmm.
being on social media. It's a lot, you know, and or I'd be interested in talking to someone who's off the grid.
Oh, that's
that'd be
and-
lit. Yeah.
Because I don't really know that.
We should get my. You met my cousin Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling him, I was like, because I'm to put. You don't watch this anyways. It's like. I was telling him, I was like, he's like dating, right? And then he's like, yeah, but like whenever they like look at my social media, I'm like, they get all sus. I'm like, yeah, that is because that's honestly, it's like let's be honest.
You're just
It's
like
kind of sus, bro.
That is like, you know, yeah, kind of like at least have like
Kinda sus.
a fake. I mean, he hikes a lot. I'm like, have a fake like little hiking persona.
Yeah.
You can have that. You don't have to put everything on. You can be a food person.
It's weird that there's things that work in a society, like there's like
Societal norm.
societal
Yeah.
norms,
Yeah.
and it's like this is the new
Back to the group stuff.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is exactly what it is.
Facts.
The internet is a stage. Instagram is a stage. And if you're not like following the same traits, it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, I
Yeah,
don't understand.
seriously.
Like, you haven't posted since 2016, and it was that one slice of pizza. in New
Something's
York.
up.
Like, I don't know, man. Like,
it's
have,
okay.
have you had pizza since then?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I have questions.
But then you're like literally like Jesus reborn. You
Yeah,
know, like the
yeah.
most like amazing
those
person.
People, those people like it's like, yo, man, I'm getting a lot of Bible verses over like beach scenes lately. You know, you're doing daily haikus. Okay.
Oh my god.
But you're saying like the ones that do step away though, they've like
They could actually be the most incredible people,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
just
facts.
because of like the perception of not a lot of it's perception, which is I guess why we're in the situation that we're in America, and
Yeah.
I guess at large is like because it's just perception,
Yeah.
and then perception versus reality, and it's
Yeah.
like we're living in the perception verse as opposed to reality, and it's like it's everything's so the perception of
Yeah.
only having like oh I follow 3,000 accounts but only like 100 people follow me, and
Oh, yeah,
that people will have preconceived notions about who you are as a person based on something as trivial as like a count.
Yeah.
But the fact that it almost does have like social capital in weight to have that, it's just
it's kind of wild.
it's really wild.
It's imaginary points. Like,
Yeah.
you like, there was no manual for the internet, but all of a sudden, like the little fucking thumbs up or the hearts became your currency of how
Yep.
you're valued, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And just how we put a dollar amount to people's lives of like, oh, you're very successful because you make $1 million. You make $1 billion. And the sad part about it is we throw around these people like, oh yeah, you know, the Bieber getting $200 million. I'll never make $200 million. What the fuck am I saying? You know,
Yeah, okay.
I have an opinion. Oh goodness, right? Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But the idea is that like numbers are so inflated.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's like honestly, I think TikTok numbers are super inflated.
No,
How
yeah,
am I getting
for sure.
millions of followers? You know,
Yeah.
it's like playing a Japanese video game where you do 5 million damage with a club.
Critical hit.
Really?
Yeah, critical
Are you
hit.
sure about that? This pig has 20 million damage health points. Like okay, like just inflated. So then
for
because
sure.
you're given this random currency, you're like, I don't know how it's worth, but so it's how much you value. it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the biggest shit
Yeah.
right there. It's just
Wow.
like
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
So some weird psychopathic thing that I've been doing lately is I go to my stories and I look to see how many people have seen it because that's like the traffic that comes in,
yeah.
right? But then I also look at like who's watching it and who's chiming in to like look at like my content.
Engaging for real.
Yeah, because I'm like getting. For me, it's a data analysis
Yeah.
of like who am I getting to like look at this? Is it interesting? And then over time, is there a drop off point?
Yeah.
Things like that. It's just merely for my own personal kind of thing where it's like it's a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
It
I
really
get
is a
that,
game,
for sure.
right? You know, Reddit's a game. You get the little like buttons. You know. You know what? This is important because we'll soon have Sylvia Wakana on.
Yeah.
She said she would do it. She knows the algorithms. She knows the gamify. She's like, don't post on Saturday, post on Sunday. Post mid-Sunday because everyone's searching. I'm like,
Oh dang.
I'm like,
know
this
that.
is a Prima Game Facts
Note this
players
down,
guide.
note this
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Note
Like,
this
you know,
down.
I'm like looking through the Game Genie cheat codes
Yeah.
of like Instagram.
In the back of the
wild.
book.
Just
Because-
studying like human
No.
behavior. I don't know,
But-
like
but-
when are people chilling?
That,
Like,
the game and the algorithm.
there-
yeah.
I looked at it a little bit. There are YouTube videos that talk deeply about the algorithm. They knew about Reels way before people were like, why am I not getting like likes? Like, what the fuck's going on? You know, they were the ones who like, oh, use like these sounds, use these hashtags, use those, all these other things. And I was like, wow, it's just like it's like you being really invested in like Call of Duty or like World of Warcraft, but it's Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's real life. Right?
Yeah.
Huh.
So if you think about
That's
it
crazy.
as a video game,
Yeah.
you go out in the world, create this content, because you know what I've seen the back end of it where there's like all these influencers, right? And not gonna lie, there's just a bunch of introverts. There are a
Yeah,
bunch of introverts
definitely.
that like to make content to make them look like I'm having fun
Big
out in the world, and I'm like,
I'm the funnest, friendliest
I'm like-
person ever.
yeah, and I'm like, y'all busted. Like, you
Yeah.
know, it's just like it's a facade,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
but perception is everything.
Oh my
right
gosh,
now.
that's what's crazy.
You know, so I'm like, okay, well, I'd rather just navigate my space being me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because honestly, me being that fake kind of person now, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It won't
Right.
feel right.
Yeah,
To
like-
the core, you know.
Tell me more about how you navigate social media. Do you?
Great question. Yeah.
Man, it's tough because like I've been doing the thing where you like it gives you like an option. I don't know. Does it have it? For
Oh,
you
yeah, for the
guys?
likes.
For the boost post.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I've been paying for advertising on Instagram, just like for my album and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like you get the weirdest people, like the most peculiar people looking
Yeah.
at your posts and profiles and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But like as far as like looking for promotion, I use meme pages a lot.
Mhm.
Like I reach out to meme pages. I'm like, yo, you should use one of my songs in your videos. And
That's
these
cool.
little kids, they watch the videos and they're like, hey, what's up? Song? Name of song?
Yeah.
In the comments.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
then
Nice.
that's got
That's
me a
tight.
pretty substantial
Yeah.
amount of plays. And
That's
then like
tight.
Nice.
there's always like these like music pages, like these hip hop pages, like these are my fire picks of music for the week. And it's
Yeah.
like some little white kid.
Yeah.
And it's like SSG Kobe and
Yeah,
like all
yeah.
these like trap artists. But like you could pay to get in their like playlists and
Yeah.
you get a substantial amount of like play from
Traffic,
that.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's all just also like I have a lot of friends who are like influencers now. Like some of them are like health influencers and they like tell me like like you were saying like post on like Saturday, don't post on Sunday, don't do this.
Yeah.
And it works. It really does work.
The health and Instagram fitness.
It's wild cuz like you never realize, like you said, it is a video game. It really is. Like if you know exactly who to talk to, who to reach out to, what to post, what hashtags to use, what time to post, like it's really just up from there. Like there's entire Instagram pages devoted to just helping you grow your page. It's wild, man.
Yeah, or like when people like or comment on their own thing, they're just eating the algorithm.
Yep.
Because,
Yeah.
because like if you like within the first like minute and then comment too, it like shoots it way up because it's basically like if you comment, then basically everything
Engagement.
that has less comments, like you have one engage point behind you, right? And you have one comment point behind you, and then
Social proof, right? It's
Yeah.
all worked in the system.
so like one thing that like when I was like dating, there's something called it's called SMV, called social market value or sexual market value.
Oh.
And basically social proof is another thing. It shows that you have value in the group, right? And like I saw it. This happened a couple days ago. I was at like Yogo Seo, and then I was like talking. I was like, there's like a group of people who are just like crowded around. I'm like, oh, I just want to get a kombucha, right? And then go like, oh, excuse me, and they're like, oh, hey Kevin, like how's your screen? I'm like, oh, it's cool. Just came from over there, blah blah blah. And then just like like just talking with them, I'm like, all right. I'm like, dude. I learned their names. I was like, hey, I'll see you Saturday, right? And just like give them the daps. And then I just see like this girl who's like in a Kirkland like crew neck, just like. And I'm like, ma'am, I don't need a sample. I gotta go. I got things to take care of, right?
That's crazy.
No hot dog combo for you. It's just, but like the thing is that like being good in those settings, either the club setting or the studio setting, or just in an environment where you can talk to people, it shows that like you have value. And then on the internet, it's that same space.
Yeah, facts.
Where it's like,
Facts.
hey man, this guy's getting like at least 50 to 100 likes, 1,000 likes, you know, and like, you know,
Must be value there.
Yeah.
It's like,
What's going on with him?
it's true.
yeah, what's going on with him?
But I'm still with the Freddie Gibbs, you know. It's like 1 million followers don't mean $1 million, you know.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
But it does have its
Benefits.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
numbers has its
You know,
benefits.
like-
Yeah, I've never really like cared much about like followers and
Oh,
like
yeah?
all my friends, like when we started making music together and stuff, they were like, our goal for the end of the year, 5,000 followers. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't really care like that.
How many sex bots do you have as followers?
Oh my god,
Right,
dude.
that is a thing.
God, that is
You know?
hilarious, bro.
Or like big titty, like Thai street vendors.
Dude.
Like, why are they're more supportive than my regular friends?
God,
They're
You
more
know,
supportive than
they
my
be
regular
liking
friends.
my comments way more than my regular friends.
For
I
real.
get all these hearts, and I get like, Jessica, Nebraska 64897.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is going on?
What is
Shout
going
out.
on?
Shout outs to all the Jessica
out.
Nebraskas.
Jessica
my
Bot.
God,
Yeah,
bro.
dude, all these
9,000.
bots, all these bots, it's crazy.
I think it's
Yo, man,
hilarious.
it's like catfish breeding season, just like wild
That's
out
funny.
there. And then they be liking a lot. I'm like, oh, well, at least they're boosting my numbers. So then that got me thinking. I'm like, yo, these people at the top must have millions of these bots,
Dude,
Yeah.
for
So
real.
everything's inflated.
Yeah, man.
There was like a not a scandal, but like there's two artists who are pretty popular, and like people are like noticed that their comment section on their YouTube videos were being like flooded
Don
with like
Toliver.
Don Toliver, and then there's like
Don
one
Toliver
other
and Lil
person.
Uzi Vert.
Yeah. So
It's crazy.
and they're like people were thinking like it was a record label.
Yeah,
that
they're
did
saying
it
it's
or
like
something.
they may not. It's like not even the individual artists who are in control
No,
of
yeah,
like
for
the market.
sure.
It's definitely like the A&R, just the label behind paying
Yeah.
for that. You know, so then
Yeah.
you find out.
They got
Like-
caught up. It's crazy that like people are smart.
I'm
like
like-
they people.
So Saweetie, for example,
Yeah.
is a recent industry artist who
Industry artist.
she dropped her first major label
She dropped an album.
record, and you know she's had songs with like millions and millions of plays. She's had radio hits. She's had everything on paper would indicate that her album would break and
Successful, yeah.
be
No
extremely
way.
successful. But I think first week sales was like 2,000 albums sold. And so that was like, you know, one of the kickstarters to this conversation of just like inflated numbers and like so much is being put into
Perception.
yeah, into what would be the word, just disproportionately representing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I don't know.
It's interesting because like that's an artist where I can hear like a song and it's like a hit and it's like that's cool. But like am I gonna
don't
want to
care.
get to know them more or do I want to follow that you know, it's like I don't know. I think there's just like a difference. There's someone that can be like a great like I guess or can make some hits and but it's like who's really
Who's got that draw?
who really wants to connect with them or you know like who's they're real fans that are like supporting them and that kind of just goes to show it like she's
real.
maybe someone that people like to look, you know, she's beautiful,
Yeah.
you know, and
Can make a fun hit here and there,
and
but
she's
when it
can be
comes,
entertaining on Instagram. I don't know, I don't follow her, I don't know,
when it
but
comes time to support for real, then
Yeah.
it's like there's a significant drop off on versus you know
Sogginess.
yeah
Yeah.
I call that the Lil Pump factor.
yeah
Because like when Lil Pump was blowing up,
yeah
I think what mainly drew people in was his Instagram
yeah
and his Twitter because he would post like such crazy stuff.
yeah
And like his music was trapper of the century. Like
Yeah.
I didn't care about any of
Yeah.
that. But I followed him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like I won't lie.
entertaining. It's a
yeah,
personality, right?
was
It's almost not
world
even
crazy at that time too.
Yeah, 2017 was like a dark period.
Oh,
I
it was
think.
Little Pump was 2017.
Yeah, I mean that's when I found out about him. I don't
Yeah.
know, like
around that.
Maybe I was thinking
Yeah.
about Tekashi 6ix9ine during like the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, he
that
was,
was
sorry,
wild,
my
too.
bad. Continue- What was your thought, Savannah?
yeah, go ahead.
don't remember. I'm sorry.
You were actually talking. You
Yeah, I
were
was just
relating with
catching
Lil
up.
Pump, but
The little pump effect and
Lil
just
Pump
the
effect.
the personalities
Oh.
like someone can have like an opening or a channel of exposure like as a say a musician or an artist but then they're actually more of an entertainer
Yeah.
and then you
100%.
find that out and you're like oh actually I'm just more intrigued by this person's personality and what they're doing and then they can carry on
They
you know
should have a TV show instead of a
you know what I'm
music.
saying? There's like a
Like
difference.
Face.
Like there's like an opening for some people, and then people gravitate towards him for another reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think nowadays it's just like you're everyone's like kind of a jack of all trades. You have to be.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
kind of crazy.
The only person who just stands out that doesn't do that is Frank Ocean, but
Yeah,
he's
for
his
sure.
own like enigma.
Yeah,
You know?
seriously.
Yo, is he gonna drop an album before Coachella, or is he
I
just
hope
like?
so.
Maybe not before, but it's happening this year.
It's happening this
Yeah.
year. The record label's like, hey, blonde.
I just hate how cryptic he is, dude.
Yeah, it's like two.
Did you guys see that thing he did with the,
The
blonde?
cock ring? What?
That made me upset. Did you guys hear about that?
No,
What?
is it?
Dude, his luxury jewelry brand put out like a $25,000 cock ring. Yeah, like
that's
with-
very Frank
With
Ocean.
solid gold, lab grown diamonds.
Lab grown diamonds.
Yeah, dude. I read the whole description in an H&M with my friends, and they were cracking up. They were like, "This guy put out a cock ring before an album, bro."
Yeah.
He's picking up off the little Nas Devil Shoe thing.
Jeez.
You know, he's
He's
taking
like-
on at the Nas playbook.
No, but like recently, he just re-released the vinyl of Blonde, and along with
No,
it,
he didn't.
Yeah, he re-released it, dude.
Oh, I need to buy that.
Oh, dude, it sold out in like 2 minutes. I tried to get one too. My cousin got one.
That's,
It was-
that's all good. I still need I want a
But-
channel orange one.
it came with either like a poster of just like dude and then a poster of him, but if you put the two posters together, it reads out like a message about how he planned on doing a bunch of blonded radio events, and like some of them didn't go too well, I think. And then it's just a huge cryptic
interesting.
message, and he was like, at the end it said the recording artist is now interested in dropping longer
so-
bodies of works.
It's only $178.
But yeah, it's like,
Longer bodies of works.
yeah, like he's interesting.
Do you think
for that.
like he knows that everyone's waiting and waiting?
Oh,
So
absolutely,
he's just
dude.
like just being vague, mysterious. Like he knows
yeah,
the pull that
dude.
he has, and
It's
he's
part
just
of his
working
the
it.
mystery
Yeah,
angle,
seriously.
and it's just like, I think that's one thing that artists don't have a lot of today,
That's
because
true.
you're kind of forced in the position to have to expose so
Yep.
much that there's not really a lot of like mysterious artists that are
Kendrick.
able to hit that level.
Kendrick, yeah, actually.
But from, I would say, even newer artists, because they're still at that hybrid age. Like, you know, even Frank is blessed having come into the scene prior to
True.
the extremes of today.
But I think that's like kind of, because talking about Kendrick, is there's a certain level of self-promotion and shamelessness you kind of have to do. And that seems like the best route, easiest route. But I was recently watching a video that was talking about how our generation just doesn't have patience.
Yeah.
Like
for
we don't know how to put in 10,000 hours and stick with something, and there's always something distracting you, some kind of like electronic dopamine machine,
yeah,
and
it's bad.
like you wanna participate in it because you're like
It's like the casino.
it is the casino. It's like ring ding 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 ding, 5 likes. Like, like you're like, no, some more, jackpot, more likes, 72 likes. Like you're just like constantly just pulling and it's like the content.
Break the thing
you
up.
make the post. You make the post. Why do you think they call it reels?
Oh,
Ooh.
reel it back.
It's all just a gambling thing of life.
Tell him.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, but it's good to disappear.
That's kind of an
Yeah.
interesting. Were you gonna say something?
No.
I was gonna say it's interesting that. Sorry.
But-
That we're like everyone almost like with even actors and stuff, they're sharing more of themselves. Like the people expect you to share so much,
Yeah.
and it kind of feels like you have to do that to, I don't know, stay like in their minds
social
or
pressure though.
Yeah.
The group
Yeah.
think, right?
Yeah, so it's,
Everyone else is doing it. Why don't you do it? We're all gonna jump off the bridge.
but then when you pull away, then it's real quiet. So
Yeah.
you feel like this is the only way is like to just
Build an audience and
Yep.
like work the market.
yeah,
Make it
see
discover.
how it works and figure us all out. But it kind of sucks that we have to like kind of be vulnerable in your your life experience or whatever you're trying to like achieve, your businesses, your art, whatever it is, like. I
Or
don't
you could
know.
put on a persona and just become this fake person and this fake
Could
do
reality.
that. Could do
That's
that.
the flip side to it too.
That's
You could
true.
be that full artist still, but just then if you have the energy, you can do that to create the full persona and live in that. And anytime you're like visually represented, you're like are that caricature
Always
until
on.
you become it, and then you become this weird human being when you're like 50. But
because I think there's people who like oh shit, this persona's gotten ahead of me, so it's like I gotta constantly be this and kind of whatever. But then there's also like people who are like just being real with themselves, like Doja Cat, or like Dumbfounded, or like Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak is now kind of in his own like he's like look and whatnot. He's a character of himself, but it's a deep character. But it's just don't get lost in that sauce of like being so much of a character that you're like Tupac Shakur. Where you're like kind of like you want that persona so bad that you start living that life.
Facts,
and you gotta realize, like, take a step back, like you don't really do that.
It's wild.
What's looking towards the future? What's something you're excited about? And then we'll go into final thoughts and wrap up for this week. But yeah, what's something that you're excited about?
I'm excited because I feel like I've finally put out a record where I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is music that I want to represent me. So it's like I feel like I'm at a point where I can just keep on building on top of that. And once I put out more music, like I always love artists where like I find like one song by them that I'm like, this is crazy, and then I go back and they have like 5 albums out, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna have a good night tonight. So like I just want to be able to put out that much music, hopefully like see what I can do as far as like record contracts. I don't want to like sign anything huge, but a distribution deal would be nice. So I might, with the help of some people that I know very dearly, I might try to shop around my last record and hopefully some future stuff I'm putting out right now. But the business aspect gives me nightmares. So I'm just taking it as slowly as possible so I don't mess anything up.
Nice.
So I'm just really excited to like be putting out more music, to be doing more collabs with more people that I actually enjoy, and not just like me rapping on their songs, but like actually producing tracks for like singers.
Dope.
And like it's cool. Like I'm just really excited to be doing that.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's really dope. I'm very happy to hear that. We're excited to hear more music from you and to keep seeing what you create. You've been doing a great job, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excited to hear more. Excited to see where this journey continues to take you. Keep doing your thing, Playboy.
Keep shining bright.
Keep shining bright.
Thank you.
We'll go around and give final thoughts for the week then and wrap up this week's beautiful episode.
Wonderful.
Sometimes lately, I just think or look inward. Sometimes just look inwards. Like sometimes like I get so caught up with like whatever is happening around, and then it shakes me up a little bit, and I'm just like, trust myself more, like just bring it back to me, like refocus to me. That's what I'm practicing. So I just like, it's a little phrase I've just been saying, like just look inward. Look inward.
I like
trust
that.
trust that, just because even if I'm nervous, I'm doing something new, I'm just like, just bring it back. I guess maybe it's like a grounding technique. I don't know, but I'm just like, look inward. And then I'm just like,
wonderful.
Okay, just follow that. That's it. Next. Anybody?
Cool.
Next.
Sometimes in life, people are merely yellow leaves on your houseplant. And like other yellow leaves, they need to be trimmed because they're just holding you back from flourishing as much as you can.
Tell them, fuck those yellow leaves. No, I'm kidding.
Underwater, overwater, god damn, what you need? What do you need? Bring a pot, some land. Can't do it all.
I think something that I've been trying to do recently in my personal life, because I've been taking time to meditate, I would say, or I would set, like, if I'm feeling activated, I'll put it like that. If I'm feeling activated, I'll set like 5 to 6 minutes to just sit in silence and meditate and just try and center myself. And so something I've been trying to find is there's times where you feel not good or elevated or activated, or life will pull you in so many different ways with your emotions. When I do these quick meditations, I'm trying to focus in on a baseline of feeling. And I know what that baseline feels like, where I feel calm and can breathe. And I just am understanding what that core baseline of where I want to be at is. And when I do these, quick 5 to 10 minute meditations, my focus is on trying to bring myself to that baseline and focusing on what that is so I can reach that state. And I think that if it's helpful for others, I don't know, it's been helpful for me, but trying to understand what feels like a safe baseline for me. Like, what is my active comfort space, and like where I'm breathing easy, I'm not like overwhelmed or stressed, or I'm just able to breathe and my mind is calm, my heart's calm, my being's kind of calm. And really understanding and capturing what that baseline looks like and feels like. And so when I am practicing these moments of meditation, having that clear kind of concrete space that I want to try and reach. And I think that that's been helpful for me, is labeling what I feel is my baseline, and then when I take these moments or breaks for myself, using that time to try and enter and reach that space. So I think maybe that could be helpful for others as well, finding what your baseline is. And then I highly recommend, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, or you don't even have to be to that extreme, you could just be feeling out of your norm, figure out what that baseline is for you, and then kind of focus your meditations on trying to enter that space and get there. And that's my thought for.
I feel like in recognizing when you're out of that norm too.
Yeah, it's the bigger thing, because
so then you're like, oh, just catching like, oh, I'm feeling off, or different, or not. I think that's the biggest thing.
That's helpful.
And then you do the work, right? And then you find how to get back to that baseline. But being aware of like, oh, I'm not. I think that's a big
thing. I feel
thing.
off. I feel activated, because I think a lot of times we'll put like really negative connotations to feeling, but we're pretty much just like these like we're just sensors from top to bottom, all of our being, and we feel a lot of things. And I think, it doesn't mean that it's good or bad always. You could just be activated. That's why I use the word activated instead of like stressed or disappointed, or you just feel like elevated outside of your whatever that baseline may be. Anyways, that's my final thought. Brother Jose, what you got for the people?
Well, last night I was in Target buying a new pillow, and then I was thinking about you guys, and I realized, like, from the moment I met you guys to now, I had an idea of how my life would go. Did it go that way? Not really, but I'm not disappointed at all. I'm actually kind of extremely pleasantly surprised as of how it went, and I just feel like sometimes you got to realize life isn't always going to go exactly how you plan it to. But I can proudly say for the last 2 to 3 years, I've been nothing but as good as possible to people. I've smiled when I should have. I did the right things when I had the opportunity to do the wrong thing. And I'm very happy as to where we ended up as people.
Yeah, dude.
Like, so many wonderful things have happened, and I feel like they're going to continue to happen. So yeah, like, I've been doing this whole music thing for like 5-6 years now, like for sure. And if anybody out there, holy shit, I'm bleeding. That's crazy. If anybody out there is watching this because I'm here and I told you to watch it because you listen to my music or something, it gets easier, man. you know, this thing isn't gonna last forever. No one's gonna make it out alive. Don't take it too seriously. But that's all.
Yeah. Real
I'm
talk.
fucking bleeding.
Dang.
And with that, we say thanks for checking us out. Don't let those expectations kill you. Get rid of those. Sometimes holding yourself too tightly to expectations will lead to unhappiness. Last final thought. We love y'all. We'll catch y'all next week. Thank you so much, Jose Homicide, for
Thank
coming
you.
through on this week's episode. We'll catch y'all next time.